Hi friends, this is Suzy, your gaming guru, here to talk about a very basic concept that is important to virtually all levels, and that's the concept of cascading. This is a special dedication to Sandy and to Barbara. Alright, so here we go. I'm starting with a level 1476 because as soon as I open the board, we're going to see some cascading. There's going to be a whole bunch of green, it's going to match up together, and because of that, it's going to create extra moves. So let's watch what happens. There goes the green, and now notice this green is going to connect. And then the orange connected. Look at all of the things that are being done. And this is a super cascade because it keeps going. It's taking out color bombs. When it takes out the color bombs, then it creates more opportunities for matches and specials. We've got another one. This is just the perfect example of a cascade. I make one move. Well, this time I didn't even make a move. I just entered the board. But that one thing that I do then creates a whole bunch of other opportunities on the board. It's just going to keep going. So that's kind of beautiful. Sometimes you'll see that people have millions of points on this level. At the very end when it cascades, sometimes it'll go on for an hour. All right, but let's show how we can kind of force one of those cascades to happen. That was pure luck, and those cascades are wonderful. But then there are also other ways we can get things to happen. First of all, if we've got a special on the board, if I now take out all green on the board, if I do this, watch what happens. That purple got together, the orange, the purple, the blue, the green. Look how I'm forcing cascades to occur. And that's kind of an easy way around. Anytime I use a special, that's going to most likely create a cascade. Cascades are really important for us when we are collecting sugar drops because that's how we get our sugar drops. So if I take out, well, I wanted to set this off without, even if I just set this off, but let's see if I can. Oh, here, I'll do this. If I just set off this wrapped candy, and I'll do it so I avoid hitting this right away. Notice that it's still creating other cascades around here. It still hit that color bomb. So not just color bombs, but all other sorts of specials can help. And now the UFO is going to go off and it's going to create more specials. In general terms, the lower to the ground I make the move, the more likely I am to see some random cascading. But the more I look at the way things are set up, the more I can make some planned cascades. Although really with cascades, we want them to take over the board. We want it to be so that we don't have to do the work. The board is just going to give it to us. On some levels, it's almost required that that happens when we have very few moves. Now, of course, I've chosen a board that has a 9x9 grid. That gives the maximum amount of space available, so the opportunity to have cascades is much greater. If you've got a very limited field, it's sometimes very hard to set up cascades. But you can see that these can be just as valuable as the specials that we get. I'm getting so many points and so much work done just by virtue of the cascades that are happening on this board. And yeah, it sometimes gets boring. It sometimes takes a while. I say that that's when the game is playing solitaire because I don't get to do anything. All right, so now let's see about getting this set up so that we make the cascades happen. First of all, I don't consider it, if I just match two different things, like if I match the orange and the green, and no subsequent moves happen after that, I don't consider that a cascade, although some subsequent things did happen. But if I do something like, notice if I pull this orange down, it's going to put 3 green together, at least. It's going to at least do that. I see that that will happen. But then, if I pull this blue down, what's going to happen is the orange is going to get together, and then the green will get together. And plus, I think the green over here is going to get together, and maybe even the orange over here. It's hard to see all that's going to happen, but I do see this would make a cascade, and this would make an even greater cascade. I want a long chain of things to happen. Oh, well, that was not spectacular. I really thought that would be better. If I pull these blue down, now generally I want to work lower to the ground, but this is a good example here. If I pull these blue down, these orange are going to meet, and these orange are going to meet. So I at least get a little bit of cascading. And then, of course, the more that happens on the board, the better it is for me. So these are the types of things we want to create with Cascades. Again, setting off a special can help. Well, that didn't help much at all. This probably would. Let's check a striped wrapped combo and see what happens. Not much, but now if I make this purple, not only am I making a wrapped candy, but the orange will get together and probably some other things will happen. There we go. So the lower to the ground I make these moves, the more likely we are to see some good things happening. And even when you can't see that a cascade is going to happen, it sometimes will. So I didn't really see a good point of reference for a cascade there, but still wild things can happen on the board. I know that sometimes I say just make as much chaos on the board as possible, and it doesn't seem like a strategy, but in my opinion it is. The more chaos that occurs, the more stuff is getting done. Now sometimes that can be problematic. Sometimes you're working on setting something up and it doesn't quite work because of the way things have landed. Here I'm going to bring down this blue. This blue is going to bring down this purple. The purple is going to line up with this. This is a wrapped candy, so it's going to take things out and probably prompt some cascades here. Plus it's going to take out this color bomb, which is going to strip an entire color from the board, and that's the best kind of cascading because then all of the rest of the colors are concentrated, so it makes it more likely that we'll be able to match those up. So, Sandy and Barbara, I hope that this information is helpful to you in figuring out what cascading can do. It's a really fun technique to practice. And remember that this board, 1476, is just the ideal place for cascades to happen. You're not always going to see things like that. And like I said, and like I even showed, sometimes I thought I was going to get a bigger cascade and it kind of fizzled out. Not much happened. But if you look for those opportunities, you can really influence the board a lot. This has been really fun for me because I love to help people. And when you have questions, if I run things too quickly, please go ahead and ask what your questions are so that I can explain them more thoroughly for you. If there is a reference point, like let's say you wanted to see what happened with a striped wrapped, you had a question about how the striped wrapped combo worked, you would have to tell me, look at right around 7:45, so give me a timestamp or a minute mark on the video. At 7:45, right around 7:45, you made a striped wrapped combo and I noticed this happen. So always, if it refers to the video, let me know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and I hope this helps. Bye-bye.